Hello everyone. In this YouTube series, I'll be explaining how you can make this Oasis scene in Blender 3D. First, we're going to start by the 3D modeling process. So here, what we're going to be looking into is how we can make the sound here, the palm trees, and the rock. After we have done this, we're going to be looking into how we can apply materials and colors to our 3D models. And after that, we're going to be looking into how we can apply lighting and how we can render our scene. In this YouTube series, I will be going through all the steps that are necessary to complete the design of this 3D model, of this 3D Oasis. And no prior knowledge of Blender is required to follow this series. Along with this series, I made also a course that's I linked in the description of this video. The difference between the course and the YouTube series is that in the course I will be going in much more detail through the steps that are required. Basically, I will be doing much more explanation. So for those of you who are interested into diving a little bit deeper into Blender and how this scene is made, I suggest to check out the link in the video description. So the version we are going to be using to design this 3D Oasis is 3.3.1. You can see the version here. Once you open Blender, you can also see it here. No, I will be also talking about where you can get Blender and a little bit about the versions in Blender. So this website is where you can get Blender. It's pretty easy, as the name implies, it's blender.org. The most recent version, as of November 2023, is Blender 4.0. But for what we're going to be doing, there is not going to be much difference between the different versions. Sometimes, depending on which machine you are using, it's easier for you to use older and more stable version of Blender. And now I'm going to show you how you can do that. Also for those of you who also want the same exact version that I will be using for this tutorial, I will go through this process. So basically, you need to go to download here, click on the download tab. Then you want to also click on this link here, looking for Blender LTS. And then there are different versions. Here you can see 3.6, 3.3, previous LTS releases, 2.93, 2.83. What I'm using for this course is Blender 3.3, so I'm going to click on it, Blender 3.3. And the exact version is this one here. So by scrolling all the way down, you see a version 3.3.1 LTS, October 5, 2022. And then here, depending on which operating system you're using, you wanna select the correct or the appropriate link. So once you download Blender, that's how Blender is going to look like. You're going to be shown this splash screen, and to dismiss the splash screen, you can click anywhere on the screen here on the window. Then before we start the 3D modeling process, there are a few things we need to know. We first need to have a mouse, and then we also need to know how we can navigate with the mouse around our scene. So I will be going first and enabling my screencast keys so you can see how I'm using the mouse and the keys I'm pressing on the keyboard. So we need to know three things, basically scrolling, rotating, and moving or shifting sideways. So in order to scroll, we use the scroll wheel on our mouse. So wheel down and wheel up. Wheel up to zoom in and wheel down to zoom out. In order to rotate, we want to be pressing the middle button on our mouse or the scroll wheel and move our mouse. And in order to shift sideways or move sideways, we want to be pressing the shift key on the keyboard, the middle button or the scroll wheel on the mouse, and we want to move our mouse. So basically scrolling, rotating, and moving sideways. Once we know these things, we are ready to go ahead and start our modeling process.